Time now for Back Pages tonight here on Sky Sports News, bringing you a first look at the sports stories in the morning's newspapers. And joining us are Riyadh Al Samurai of the Daily Mail, Paul McInnes of the Guardian. Welcome along to you both. We'll hear from you shortly, but let's quickly run you through the back pages as we have them. Starting off with this, Blues have wow factor, says the Daily Express, as teenager Estevao lights up Stamford Bridge in victory over Barcelona. Yes, 3-0 it finished at the bridge. Estevao is the Daily Mirror's take. Brazil team hits stunning solo goals, Blues for Barca. Elsewhere, Arne Slot says he feels guilty about Liverpool's dramatic slump in form. It's good that all of the papers have chosen their own sort of pun here. Teen Supreme, Estevao upstages Lamine in statement win for Maresca. Elsewhere, Sandon's flop is their take on Man City's defeat to Bayer Leverkusen after Pep Guardiola makes 10 changes. All right, well, let's start off with tonight's Champions League action. Of course, a statement win and performance from Chelsea, beating Barcelona by 3-0. And it was all about one man's particular efforts, and that's Estevao. Riyadh, let me come to you first on this. I mean, first of all, what did you make of the goal?
It's outstanding, isn't it? There's, I think a few people have pointed out how similar it was to the one he scored for Palmeiras Chelsea in the Club World Cup. I think watching that goal, what sort of never ceases to amaze me with him is that's his weaker foot. That's his right foot. He shouldn't be able to leather the thing that hard, that kind of angle, that kind of finish. He's gifted. This is something where sort of our colleagues who cover Chelsea regularly have been raving. I've seen him play a couple of times this season. I've seen a few of the highlights, but that was really the performance. That was the sort of coming out moment of here he is. We had the kind of whole build up for this game about the sort of the battle of the 18-year-old wonder kids with sort of Lamine Yamal. He was completely anonymous. I wouldn't necessarily single him out for that. Barcelona were dreadful. Obviously, it doesn't help playing with 10 men for so much of the match. But Estevao, he's a fantastic player. Kind of going to that two-footed element, there are slight elements of Cazorla about it almost. He's probably the most two-footed player I've ever seen. I wouldn't say he's quite there yet, but we talk about the comparisons that are being made for Estevao already. He doesn't like being compared to Lionel Messi. He's probably going to have to get used to it over time. I think the more accurate one for me at the moment is Eden Hazard. He just reminds me of him. It's that speed, it's that acceleration, the close control. He's deceptively strong for someone of his size. It's very hard to just go and shunt him off the ball, but he's an absolute joy to watch, isn't he? When he gets it, you just have that instinct to creep a little bit further forward in your seat. You know he's going to do something special, and that performance tonight, even aside from the goal, there's just something beautiful about watching a guy get the ball and want to beat his man, and not just beat him, absolutely eviscerate him. He's so exciting to watch. I think we'll probably talk more broadly about where Chelsea stand at the moment in a moment this season, but for now, on the evening, that was all about him. I thought he was fabulous. I just want to watch him play again, to be honest.
Yeah, well, I mean, won't be long. Got plenty of games live on Sky Sports. I'm sure you'll be able to see Estevao in action, Riyadh. Paul, on him, I just wonder how you feel about the way that Chelsea have handled him, because you've got a precocious teenager. He's just 18 years of age. And right now, he's really starting to find form and delivering with those goals. He scored twice for Brazil over the international break as well. So just, maybe a word to how they've managed the situation with Estevao.
Yeah, I mean, I think they've managed it well. At the same time, you could flip it around and say, we're not even into December yet, and this 18-year-old is making his mark on both the Premier League and the Champions League. It's not taken him a very long time to adapt or to stake his claim for a place in the first team. But I think you're right to say that Chelsea have deliberately thought about this. They've kept him out of the firing line to a certain extent, and it's consistent with Chelsea's general practice. And I think what you saw today is perhaps an example of where Chelsea, what the Chelsea plan is and where Chelsea want to go. This was a team where both the wide men were permed. The customary right winger Neto went number 9 for the first, switched around the midfield, different centre half combinations, and everybody looked like they knew what they were doing. Everybody looked comfortable in their role, comfortable in the formation, comfortable in the style. Another thing I really enjoyed watching about Estevao tonight was just how committed he was to the press. He was harrying defenders consistently and never let up. And those are the characteristics of this team. And you get the sense that actually what looked like something that is too big, maybe doesn't have too many key figures that you can hang a team on, suddenly looks like a project, a squad-based project, and one that is built to compete in as many competitions as can be thrown at them.
It's 5 wins in 6 in all competitions, Riyadh, for Chelsea, and they've won their last 3 without conceding a goal and scoring 8. We've got Estevao on fire. I mean, this really sets things up for the game coming up on Sunday, which is, of course, the visit of Arsenal in the Premier League, second against first. I mean, this was a statement win, and it sets up that game beautifully, doesn't it?
Chelsea are in a great moment. I think I've had a lot of reservations. I'm sure many of us have over the current regime. The sort of turnover and churn of players is enormous. They operate a huge squad, and I've still got a lot of reservations about how functional that kind of approach is. And if we were just to apply a slight note of caution at the moment, we have seen Chelsea be quite inconsistent this season. We know it's a young squad, and that can be characteristic of it. You know, I don't think anyone would have necessarily been pleased with a draw in Karabag, but then you see a performance like tonight, and you see how high the ceiling is. They're second in the league. We're talking about a division at the moment where Liverpool are in this crazy funk. Man City, every sort of couple of steps forward they take at the moment, there seems to be one coming back the other way. So, you know, there is a sort of open landscape for them to be able to make a real imprint on it. I don't know whether this is going to carry on all the way through to May. Arsenal have clearly been the standard setters. I think this game against them at the weekend, that's going to be a huge barometer really of where both teams are. But at the moment, if you're Enzo Maresca, even if you're Chelsea as a whole, for all the kind of criticisms I've just inferred there, you've got to be very satisfied with the way this is looking, and you know, they're moving quite comfortably through the Champions League. They're the 5th now in the standings. They're probably going to make it to the last 16 automatically, I should have imagined at this stage. So, you know, at the moment it's flying, and as we've just spent 5 minutes talking about Estevao, they've got arguably the most exciting young player in the league at the moment. So no, it's really encouraging. But let's see what happens at the weekend, and then we can probably draw a more accurate picture of where they stand domestically.
4 p.m. Our coverage starts on Sky Sports Premier League for Chelsea against Arsenal. You mentioned Manchester City, Riyadh. I'll send this one your way, Paul. Back page of The Star.